briefly is the rotation order. Basically what the rotation order is the number of times you can rotate or turn your object to look exactly identical to what you started off with. So this actually does relate with the line of symmetry a little bit, but this is more on the rotation. So if we look at the first shape, this is a semicircle, and let me see if I can oh, there you go, I can grab the semicircle. How many times can I rotate this semicircle to look exactly like this shape? So if I start rotating, you can see that I cannot get the same looking shape until I do a complete 360. So because of that, I can only rotate it once, so that the rotation order for this shape is 1. So that semicircle has a shape, or has a rotation order of 1. Look at the star. So if we really look at the star, how many times can I rotate the star to look exactly like this one? So let's start rotating. That is 1 times 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can see that I've rotated 5 times. I can rotate it 5 times to look exactly the same. One important key thing to remember is that you try to, when you're rotating these and determine the rotation order, keep track of where you started off with. So how I was kind of counting is that I used this corner with the green as where I started off with, so then I don't get confused or overcount. This way, like I said, you won't overcount, because some other shapes will have a lot of sides or points. So this one has a rotation order of 5. What about the next one? This one, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is an octagon, has 8 sides. So let's see how many sides I can rotate this. So again, I'm using this little green circle as my indication of that this is where I started with. So this is the starting point, so I haven't rotated. This is the first rotation. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and finally the last one still counts because it gets back to the original. So there's 8. So you can sort of see that it relates to the angle of reflection, so in a way. So this one has a rotation order of 8. The last thing we can calculate is the rotation angle. This is strictly looking at the angle, and rotation angle basically is the angle you need to, you need to rotate to look exactly the same. So the angle you need to rotate to make the object look exactly identical. Make the object look exactly identical to what you started off with. So this one is strictly an angle. So an angle is going to be in degrees, and how you calculate this is that, let's see, what's the angle to rotate this semicircle to look like what you started off with? You can't rotate it 90 degrees, you can't rotate it 270, you can or 180, you have to rotate it 360. And how you calculate the first one is there's a formula, and the formula is written here. Let me see if I can change a different color. It's basically saying you're going to use the formula of 360 degrees divided by the rotation order. So since the semicircle has a rotation order of 1, you're going to plug this in, 360 divided by 1, which is same as 360. That's what we figured out, because you have to rotate this shape 360 degrees, which is a complete circle, to look exactly the same. The next one is 360 for the star divided by 5. And I believe this one, it gives you 72 degrees. So you have to rotate this 72. Let me double check with my calculator. I wish I've done this earlier, but 72 is 360 divided by 5. Yeah, it is 72 degrees. Good math. So that means that in order to get this star shape to look exactly the same, then you have to rotate 72 degrees to get there. And the last one is your octagon, so which is 360 degrees divided by 8. And if you divide this, you will get an answer of 45 degrees. So that means in order for this octagon to look exactly the same, you're rotating it 45 degrees, which makes sense. If you look at this outline of the square, this one is basically 90 degrees. So if I were to rotate 45 degrees, it'll look like a diamond, 45 degrees, back to a square, 45 degrees, diamond, square, diamond. So if you didn't get that, it's okay, but that's what we calculated. That's the rotation angle. So a little recap: rotation order is the number of times the object can be rotated to look exactly identical. Rotation angle is 300 degrees divided by the rotation order, which gives you the angle you need to rotate your object by to look exactly the same. So hopefully that is a good tutorial for symmetry. I'm going to draw your attention to this game that I found. It's called Manga High, and or not called Manga High. It's on this website, and it's called TransStar. So TransStar actually is a game to play around with reflections and transformations. And let's try this game right now. This is the first zone, first level. So what you have to do is try to get the TransStar, your ship or whatever, to the Stargate through reflection. And the line of reflection is what you have to figure out to reflect it. So if I were to click here, you can see that reflected it. So that's good. If you need some help with reflection, there is that link you can click on. So click on next. This one, let's see. If I were to click on this bottom line, you can sort of calculate this. You have one block here, but then you have 1, 2, 3 blocks away from this. So this one probably wouldn't work, as I just calculated, right? It wouldn't work. That's backspace. So you can click on this. Oh, that works. And then it gets a lot more complicated. So zone 3, well, you have 5 lines of reflection. You have to figure out where to go. So what's the best line of reflection to choose? Remember, it has to have the same number of space here. So it's good to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to this line. Well, you can see that's more than 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks still too much. I think it's this one. Oh wait, this one is going reflecting to that one, so that's 7, that's 9. I think it's, let me see. That's 7 to 7, 8. Let's go. Oh, too many, so I miscounted. That's no good. So let's try that again. Oh, okay. Click on the middle one, and I'm short for 2, so that's no good. So I need to go and try the next one. Oh, there you go. So this is a good game for you to practice. The link is right here, and check it out. Hope that helped.